Hey guys, Brian Delivers You the Goods here. I'm returning to you for a final video for the best albums of 2020 so far, part 2 video, and this is for video 4 of it. So I'm going to continue where I left off, and yeah, let's dive into this video. Now at number 22 is Red with Declaration. I thought this was a pretty good album. Sure, I wasn't crazy about one song, Only Fight. That was the only one I wasn't crazy about. And there was The War We Made was not my favorite. It was alright, but it wasn't great. I just thought it got a little repetitive with some of the chorus. And I don't know how to feel about that. It just wasn't my favorite song. It's plain and simple. But that's just my opinion. You don't have to agree with me on it. It's just how I felt when I was hearing the song. And there was another one that I wasn't crazy about, but All For You, that's what it was. That one, the screams were good from Michael Barnes, but the song didn't execute very well with me. It just didn't resonate with me, the song. But the other tracks were bangers for sure. Evening Hate was great. Float was my favorite one. Cauterize was pretty good. Infidel was great. There were some other tracks, but I can't remember which ones they were. I have the track list down here. Sever was a great song. So was The Victim. I already said Evening Hate. From the Ashes, and yeah. Unfortunately, there were only 10 tracks in this album, which kind of suck. But I hope they make a deluxe edition for sure. But at number 22 is Red with Declaration. Number 23 is Testament with Titans of Creation. Now, I think this is another album that got a 10 out of 10, and I'm like, wow. There's going to be a few albums this year that are going to compete with each other. But it's really hard to decide which ones are going to be the best, is going to be the number one album of the year. But we'll find out in December. Fortunately, it's going to have to wait till December because there's still more albums to come. But for the most part, I think most of the best albums have already come out. And the rest of the year is probably just going to be bleh. I don't know. It's just not going to be the best year, but it for some music. But certain music, yeah. I actually liked the spring of 2020. It was actually the beginning of 2020 was good, and so was some of the spring with its music. But as a whole in 2020, I wouldn't say it's great because we've gotten a lot of issues. But for the most part, Testament's Titans of Creation album was great. I enjoyed a few songs off it. I don't know if it's gonna make it at the best albums of 20. Well, it is making it at the best albums of 2020 so far because it was a really good album, but I can't remember the songs off it. Other than the fact that I really enjoyed it, I was surprised that it was a thrash metal album that did really good, and there were a lot of good songs off it. So at number 23 is Testament with Titans of Creation. Number 24 is August Burns Red with Guardians. Now, I wasn't sure what to think about it at first. I wasn't sure what rating to give it at first as well, but I still enjoyed it. There were some songs that I was liking, Like Defender was really good, Paramount, Bones. I think The Narrative and Lighthouse were my least favorites. But uh Dismembered Memory was good, Ties That Bind was great, Blood Letter was awesome. Extinct by Instinct, I think it's called, was pretty good. And the last two tracks were awesome. So I gave it like a 9 out of 10, but it still did a great job. But maybe some issues with that production of the album with certain songs, but nothing too major. So at number 24 is August Burns Red's album which is called Guardians. The next album, which is the final album I'm talking about, is Maddie and Tay's new album, The Way It Feels. Now, I was surprised how good it was, even though it's a country album, but they harmonize very well with their voices. Maddie and Tay do. But I still enjoyed it. Bathroom Floor was pretty catchy with its country bopish pop melody or whatever. They may experiment a little in this album, but nothing to the point where they go off their country roots, their regular country roots. So that's a good thing. That's what I like about artists that try to stick with the same genre and don't try to mix it up too much. They can do it with a few songs, which isn't something bad, but as long as it works. And it did work. And this album was probably my favorite album this year. Wasn't personally my favorite album, but it was still pretty good. So it's gonna make it at a certain number on my best albums of 2020 video later this year in December. So definitely check this album out if you haven't heard it. It's Maddie and Tay's album, The Way It Feels. So yeah, comment below. Let me know what you guys thought of the best albums of 2020 so far, part 2, video 4. And this is the final video for it, so I'm glad you guys tuned in for it. I made so many fucking videos for this, which took a little while, like a few hours. But I'm glad it's over now. And if you like this video, comment below and let me know your thoughts on it. Tap a like on this video if you liked it. Subscribe to my channel if you can to support the channel. I will return to you a little later today for Metallica's Ride the Lightning album review. And then tomorrow I'll just do Metallica's Master of Puppets album review. And then I won't do another Metallica album review till like Saturday after that. Or Saturday morning. I'll be watching a new movie that day too, and I'll let you know my thoughts on it. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed this best albums of 2020 so far videos, the part 2 edition for it. And stay safe out there, take care, and I'll see you in my next review.